Hello everyone and welcome to my first test video about the game In Force to Heaven, which is going to be published by VUCA Simulations this year and is about the invasion of Poland 1939. This video and the series of tutorial videos will be recorded using a Vassal module, which is available right now for anyone who would like to just check how the game works. And this video will be just a simple overview of the module itself, its options, and what the game presents, and how and what is the layout of scenarios. Right now, the module is still under construction, but soon enough it will be a final version, I hope. So, when we open the module, let's get it loaded. For anyone who would like to just see how the game works without checking, even opening the rulebook, there's something what is called a start guide, which is right there. We can open any scenario, and then if we click the start guide, there is a procedure which tells you step by step how to do first moves and first actions of the game without really thinking about rules. And some of the rules are listed in form of paragraphs if you want to know more, if you try to just start playing. For anyone who would like to take a little deeper look into the game and into the module, here is the module, which has a lot of options. Right now, all of the basic functions of the game work as they should in the final version, and as will they work in the final game. So, for example, we have all options like time track, which has functional cheat pool. We have track sheets with all of the needed information to play the game. We have command displays, reinforcement schedules, some inventories for regiments, many game markers, campaign markers, all of the basic stuff that is always used in Vassal in any module to be a complete game. And for now, with this module, you can play or even just check any scenario that will be part of the game. So to keep this video as short as possible and to leave any rules and component explanations for the proper tutorial videos, which as a side note will be also recorded with a better microphone. I'm just using the in-laptop microphone for this test video. For now, I want to skip it all. I just want to show you what is going to be in this game. We're gonna leave also overview of this game. Besides that, this is a September 1939 Poland, the first campaign of the Second World War. So, if we open the scenario list, we have 18 scenarios with one extra scenario with the free setup. But those 18 scenarios will be with the historical setups, and I'm gonna show you what are all of those about. So first we have 5 learning scenarios, which are really tiny ones. The first scenario is the Kock, the last battle of the campaign. If we zoom out the map, you'll see what the part of the map it actually is. And for the first 2 scenarios, we have dedicated smaller maps, which will look exactly as in the printed version, because smaller scenarios will not use the main map. We will provide a smaller A4 to A2 size maps just to keep the table space as low as possible. So the first scenario teaches you only basic rules, and it consists of just 5 units. The second scenario is the battle for Tomaszów, Lubelski, which also uses the simplified set of rules, and also has dedicated map, which is part of the module. The third scenario, which is Gdynia, September 1st, beginning of the campaign. It's right there. Then we add some more rules, and we start to learn about how the time track works in the simplified way, as well as in the first two scenarios. The fourth scenario is called the corridor, and it's a little larger scenario just south of Gdynia, also September 1st. And as a learning scenario, it introduces some more rules, but still this is a simplified set of rules. The fifth scenario is the Mława sector scenario, which is just east of the corridor from the fourth scenario. It is also a small scenario that takes around 2 to 4 hours to play, depends of course how you know the rules and how fast you move with your components. And this scenario uses almost complete set of rules with some simplifications in the stuff like support or morale, and do not concern about any rules like general stuff or plan west or stuff or the more advanced stuff. Then we go to the set of standard scenarios. So the first of standard scenarios is the half campaign scenario Heres Gruppe Nord, which starts at September 1st, and as you can see, it combines scenario 3, scenario 4, and scenario 5 into one large scenario using all of the rules regarding stuff like, for example, Plan West or Polish general stuff. It is intentional that on the list, the scenario number 6 is before the rest of the smaller scenarios, because it is intended to keep you familiar with the terrain, with the ODB, if you played scenarios 3, 4, and 5 in a row, just to learn the game. So if you play those scenarios and then you play the campaign scenario number 6, which should take around 6 to 8 hours to play, 10 if you're still learning the game, you will be pretty ready to play any scenario of the game. So now let's see what do we have. What do we have more? And we have scenario number 7. Now we break off from the northern Poland. We've got the central part, which is the most important part in the first days, which is the main German motorized and tank offensive towards Warsaw, the capital. Also starts at September 1st. Then we have scenario number 8, which takes place on the south. On the southern part, 14th Army versus Army Kraków and Karpaty, just the first part, starting on the September 1st. Then we have scenario number 9, which jumps into September 9th. And this is the Polish counteroffensive on the Bzura River, around the Bzura River, and you have chance to see and to play out the Polish offensive, the biggest Polish offensive of the campaign. Scenario number 10 is also September 9th, but instead of Łódź sector, we see what happens on the eastern part of Poland, which is also very important at this time, and this is breaking of the Narew River and attack towards Białystok and Brześć, and trying for the German player to encircle Warsaw from the east. Then we have scenario which starts one day earlier on September 8th, but on the southern part. And this is basically German advance starting from the Dunajec river line up to Lvov and trying to just reach Lvov as quick as possible. Scenario 12. With this scenario, we jump a few days to September 17th, and we play again Battle of Tomaszów Lubelski, which was the learning scenario 2 with simplified rules. But now we play the Polish second counteroffensive with the full set of rules and the larger context regarding also what happened in Lvov, Battle of Jaworów, and we combine the whole event into one scenario. The next scenario is first of series of campaign scenarios, and we have something like a brother of the scenario number 6, which is Heresgruppe Sud, which is simply half of campaign, the first week of the campaign, but instead of northern Poland, we've got the whole southern Poland. And this is important to note that shorter scenarios, not campaign scenarios, have very different victory conditions than the main campaign scenario. For example, we have some terrain victory points that the German player has to pursue to win the scenario. After Heresgruppe Nord, we jump, which is a half campaign, we jump into campaigns that use the whole map, and we combine all of those events that were before to one big scenario. So the first scenario number 14, is called the Border Battle, and this is the first week starting at September 1st. Then we have scenario number 15, which is called Fallback, and this is also a campaign, but this time we start at September 6th. So if you like to see other parts of the campaign and try to play different episodes than always the September 1st, this is an occasion to do it. And going further, we have in the same fashion scenario. There's optional scenario number 15 using some rules for concealed army movement, and scenario 16 is also a campaign, but starting on the September 9th. Scenario 17 is called the Endgame, and we again, for the third time, go to the Tomaszów Lubelski battle, but this time we add the first large pocket of the Second World War, which is Kutrzeba's pocket next to Warszawa, and we can combine those both battles into one large event. As we are actually in the middle of the historical campaign, it is interesting to start at September 17th because many other events might play out differently than historically regarding Soviet advance, Soviet entry, and Polish player can really improvise some other strategies at this point. And the last one is the Grand Campaign, in which we again start at September 1st, but we do not have any map victory points, we do not score any victory points. All that matters at this point in this scenario are campaign victory conditions, which are more kind of a strategic goals. So, so there will be no, besides some terrain objectives that are important for the strategical level reasons, we do not pursue any victory points on the map. And of course, I think that this is the most interesting scenario to play. And it should take no more than 60 to 80 hours, because for the grand campaign it takes around 1 to 2 hours for the one full turn to play. So um, if we play 30 days, 30 times 2, it should be around 60 hours. Of course, with some reading rules and some thinking about strategies, it might take 60 to 80 hours. At least this is what took me to play the whole campaign a few times, with some making some notes. But that's all I'd like to present you for now, and I hope I'll see you soon with the full set of tutorial videos regarding all of the rules. Uh, I'm planning to make more than 20 tutorial videos, as those videos were focused on some smaller parts of the rules and not on the rule set as the whole. So in the future, if you like to confirm if you know some rules well, or just learn some part of the game without skimming the rulebook, you can always just check those videos. So thank you for watching, uh, and I hope you will try and test this module before the game releases. If you do, please let me know in the comments, or just simply write me.